Here we are, episode 86, closing in on 100 episodes. Don't forget to subscribe. Doesn't cost you anything. Just hit a little button and you help us.
Subscribe. Tell us what... Actually, don't tell us. Just like it. If you tell us what you like, that's fine. If you tell us what you don't like, get out of here. And then follow us on Instagram and TikTok, which I think all of those are probably linked at somewhere connected to each other. So if you find one, you can find them all.
Probably not, but I'm not very good at that.
Well, I have on the TikTok connected to our Instagram and our YouTube.
Wow, look at you.
And vice versa. On the Instagram, the same thing. So if you find one
Tech
of them.
star.
Just makes it very easy, honestly.
Yeah.
You just say, how many links do you want to add to your profile? All of them.
And go follow us on all of them.
Yeah. We're going to try to post more non-podcast stuff on our Instagram and TikTok. I've been doing vlogs of our last few events. So go check those out if you care to see me, get ready, get unready, get ready again, get unready again.
Get unready.
So you see me put my makeup on, you see me take my makeup off. You see me the next morning put my makeup on.
That's good stuff.
Just a lot of that. So if that seems interesting to you, with that set to music in the background, I've got it for you.
I have no idea what you do on those social media apps. You could be just like slamming me left and right and I would have no idea.
No, I just post the same stuff that you post on the YouTube and then I've added the additional content.
Cool.
That kind of stuff.
That's good.
Just that we can start to look like humans in the world and not just see us through YouTube shorts.
Yeah.
And Instagram shorts.
Yeah.
And TikTok shorts.
I think it's a good idea.
When you see me in the sweatshirt, do you think, oh, she turned it inside out? Or does it look like, oh, maybe she bought it like that?
Yeah, like you maybe bought it like that.
Okay.
I know what sweatshirt that is. And it's funny you should say this because last episode
Did I bring it up? No, I
went on a quick little snapperoo about style. And you stole it from me.
The inside out?
Yep.
When did you first do this? In high school?
Yep.
So
interesting, full circle.
Interesting.
So it's interesting how I do things and then people follow it. Some would say that's trend setting.
It was that I remember you doing. I remember you cutting a pair of sweatpants, not into shorts. They were just like halfway. You like went to your knees, which that is a trend I don't like. And I still don't like when your shorts are long. So I remember you doing that once. The long t-shirt underneath the sweatshirt so that you can definitely see the t-shirt hanging out underneath. That was something you did regularly. And then the tying your shoes so tight. That's something
I don't feel like
did.
That's a style choice, but
I mean, when you have, especially our feet and ankle style, we're slender people, for how thin your ankles are, and then you crank. It's because they were like Converse too. It's like it's already kind of a
fitting shoe. Yeah.
And then you all the way up and it was like the high top one. So
I got sports to play.
Yeah, you were not rolling any ankles in those. Is that where it came from? For all your ankle rolling, you're like, never again.
Not really.
You just liked the comfort of that.
It was just that style of shoe that I would do that with. Yeah. Trendsetter. So, you're welcome. You're welcome for all the ideas that you're taking from me and then saying I don't have any style.
No, I feel, well, let's not go on this tangent.
I mean, do I wear salmon colored stuff? No, I'm not Corey, but
right.
Salmon.
And with a little.
Yep.
This is very a grandma move. To have like a very basic sweatshirt on, but then to have all of the jewelry.
Yes.
And like the jewelry be so much more
extravagant
than the sweatshirt.
It's like you should be going to like, you're like the belle of the ball.
And then I have a
and
sweatshirt.
then you're wearing sweatshirt and shorts or something.
Yeah. Something short. It's a very grandma move.
Yeah.
I remember
and full
my grandma
makeup too.
Oh, always doing that. And I was like, it just elevates it though. Like there's something about it that I like. I get it now. I get it now. It's just a little something that makes this seem cooler.
Sure.
So you know how I always said I like to dress like boys clothing. Like I see a guy in an outfit, I'm like, that looks so cool. But I just I can't always
Sure.
replicate it because obviously my body style is not that.
Yeah.
Benson Boone, I think, is the closest to my body style.
Oh my God.
Like very short torso. Like he dresses very feminine though. I think that's also why.
You mean Freddie Mercury the second?
Yeah. Like his body style is very short torso, not crazy long. Like he's not a very tall guy, I'm guessing. But he's kind of built, but not super crazy built. He's naturally probably looks more slender. But again, it's the short torso on top that he's wearing like these 70s style, like just below the belly button level. And then jean, like it just, I'm like, that is, take the head out and shrink the shoulders in a little bit, add some boobs. That's me.
Yeah.
So.
That's cool.
Yeah.
You know what I'm annoyed about?
Hmm.
This AI stuff. Yeah. Are we 7 seconds in? These dorks have got to just calm down about AI. It's getting so silly. It makes me so angry I can't even talk about it.
Well, I think like what I said yesterday, it is, and what I feel like even explained it further, but it's this grouping of people that are very pro science and very pro innovation and very pro like what's the next. It's a very guy behavior. Like,
Yes.
What's the next gadget that I can have?
Yeah, you don't hear any women talking about how AI's.
Yeah, it's like the ultimate cool tech, and it's a way that they're going to be able to like live out a video game. But it's these group of people that are very science-based, that are anti-religion, and not anti-religion, but they don't necessarily follow anything or any individual thing, whatever.
Yeah.
That this is their way to have a higher power, a thing to follow, a thing to look at, like look for.
Yeah, and
as
they
like
don't,
something stronger and more powerful than them.
They don't see that either. It's like they will be atheist or claim, I don't really believe in God, I don't really do that. But then they talk about AI and they use the same words and they say the same things that people who are religious talk about God. It's like you have just replaced God with AI. AI is now your God. It will be able to do everything. It will solve all of our problems. We won't have any issues. It's, coming back. We're going to upload our consciousness to this thing and everybody's going to be in heaven basically. And it's like, you are so ridiculous. It drives me crazy, the AI talk. Because it's like, for one, I don't know anything about it. So I'm an idiot about it. And then I think it annoys me when I see other people talk about it. I'm like, you clearly don't know what you're talking about. So I'm an idiot about this. You're an idiot about this. Why are you talking about this like you know what's going on? And then I think that the examples that people use with it too is just it's so silly. Like everybody's going to want to upload their consciousness to this. I'm not. I don't want to partake in this AI shit at all.
Well, yeah, if it means you live forever but I'm not actually living, then I don't want to do that. If it's the more medicine side of things where they're able to do that, but even that, it's like in the last 5 years, have most people not most people, but like we have seen a good portion of the population lose trust in a lot of these major systems.
Yeah.
So it's like, so we don't even, well, maybe that's why, maybe that's their counter argument is, yeah, we can't trust people, so we have to go to computers.
And this is my problem with the whole entire thing. Anytime you bring up something that's conflicting, they just go, well, AI will figure that out. It's like, how do you not see that this is just you worshiping God? And also, how do you know? You don't know that AI can figure any of this out. And it's one of the things that Peter Attia said of like, he was talking about AI and just and human biology, and like we just don't know if this would even be possible to be able to do some of these things. But people are just claiming that, oh, we'll be able to do this. Okay, well, how? It's like well, we'll just do gene mutation, and then you'll be able to put on muscle and lose body fat, and you won't really even have to do anything. You'll just be slim and slender the whole time.
So,
And
but
it's
are
like,
they?
but do we don't even know that human biology can do that.
But are they saying that by doing the gene mutation from birth, that would basically eliminate the human behaviors that cause us to go awry afterwards? Like, okay, sure, you can put on muscle and you can, be smarter, because weren't they already doing that with babies, like testing out like trying to get them more intelligent.
I think so. I think that's like the whole CRISPR thing. Again, I don't know enough
How
about
I'm
this
talking
stuff.
about it makes me sound so not intelligent.
Yeah,
So
we're dumb talking about this, but I
But-
think I want to talk about it because I think it's like, this is what normal folk talk about with this AI shit.
Yeah.
Is it's like, everybody's freaking out about this, but when you go through the common sense rabbit hole of stuff, it's like, I just don't understand how this is what everybody is saying it's going to be.
Because, okay, so that's what I'm asking is, are they saying that it will change human behavior? Because, yes, every baby, well, I guess maybe this is not, and everyone agrees with this, but it's like, say if a baby isn't a blank slate, they already start with some basic behaviors, some basic like functioning, some biology that's going to steer them in one way or another. Like how babies are not scared of snakes, but they're scared of spiders.
Sure, yeah.
Like they will learn to be scared of snakes, or maybe they won't, but they will learn the danger of a snake, to where built in our DNA, at least what has been tested so far, is babies are scared of spiders from the jump. So like that is something that has been imprinted into them for generations and generations, to where we're just not evolving out of that.
Well, nor should we.
Well, sure.
I don't think so.
Sure.
There's poisonous spiders.
That
I sound like I'm like very scared of spiders. Spiders don't scare me, but now I'm defending myself. They don't scare me. I'm really tough, actually.
But so then, like, you take, like we were talking about with food. I think people's relationships with food and their emotional connection to food isn't talked about a lot in the retrospect of people trying to get healthy, or trying to lose weight, or trying to have a specific goal and eat a certain way, and their connection to or their lack of connection to their understanding their hunger cues. I think a lot of that is the emotional tie to it and the behavior that we've created around it. It's like, we are usually hungry at the times that we usually eat.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you will just get in a system of that. And there's a reason why having pasta in the morning seems random and weird. It's like, we have created a behavior around that. And how many little behaviors do we have around food like that? The overeating, undereating, whether you have a comfort to food or whether it scares you, because then that means your disordered eating aspects of it. Are they saying that from the AI molding of a baby, like, you would have to eliminate what else is going to happen the rest of their life?
Yeah, well, yeah, and that's...
Which then it means, like, you would have to turn that part of their brain off, but then what else isn't happening because that part of their brain isn't turned on? Like,
yeah.
I could see you taking that out, but, like, is that connected to your just regular emotional awareness to things? Like, are we creating sociopaths then?
Right, yeah. Yeah, and that's where I think this... when people are just like, well, AI will solve that. Don't worry about it. AI will solve that. It's like, but we don't know, especially when it comes to, like, animal biology, we don't know if this is even possible, that we can do that without some serious effects of it. They're not, I don't know, like what you're talking about, we just create a bunch of psychopaths, or now you've turned this thing off and people don't ever want to eat, and something is seriously wrong with that now, and they're not getting nutrients or whatever. But now it's not, then they just go, well, you're going to upload your consciousness into AI, and you're not going to really have a human body anyways. You're not going to need to worry about eating, so you don't even need to worry about that. It's like,
okay, well, let's think of
what
middle
are you
America.
even talking about?
Let's think of middle America, which is majority of the country, the majority of consumers. It's going to start at the ends. It's going to start at the breads. It's going to start it in California, more so Northern California, and it's going to start in New York. That's where most of the trends get built and created and funded because there's just more money in those areas. And then over years, it starts to reach the middle and spread across.
It filters through.
It's like how fashion works, how any trend works. I think those trends are growing faster because of social media. They spread quicker. But money doesn't spread that way either. Like, it has to become known about, it has to become normalized, and then it has to become affordable.
But AI is going to solve all that.
Yeah, and how?
Exactly. That's what they say every single time. You don't have to worry about it. AI is going to solve it. AI is super intelligent, so it's smarter than all of us by infinity. So it's going to be able to know what to do and everything, and we just listen to what it says, and you do that. Money isn't going to be a thing because everything's going to be AI. We don't need anything anymore. AI is going to cover that all. Money is useless at this point, so you don't even have to worry about money. You can get whatever you want.
Which I guess for those people, I mean, everyone has their own thing they look to and their religion, and it's like kind of like, let's put you guys over there, keep trucking, like keep working at it. You keep tinkering with what we need to do for the next thing, because maybe that will be useful. Maybe we will need it. From here till then, we could be just fine and we can continue life as is. We still have regular people problems. We could have a civil war that could pop out at any time. We could have
well, that's what
we could be experiencing a lot of an economic collapse. Like, we could have so many other problems before we get to utilize that stuff.
Yeah.
So,
and then
it's like, I'm not going to worry about it because I can't do anything about that. I'm just going to keep worrying about the regular folk, including us, and go, what can I change and give advice on, working on myself, and then you keep trucking on that.
That's what drives me nuts, though, is like every podcast you listen to or news thing you watch or whatever, AI is what's talked about. And all of the people, they bring on this AI expert that apparently knows everything about AI, which I don't understand how you know everything about AI when it's a super intelligence. So how do you know? And then it's, we're going to lose a lot of jobs and people got to be switching out of jobs that are in these sectors and do this. So it's like, you have people that are potentially listening to this advice and switching their jobs and making huge life decisions and changes because of this potential of AI doing all this shit. And then what? 5, 10 years, 15, 20, 30, potentially nothing changes. Or the job sector that they're in actually expanded because they didn't see what AI was going to do and it actually creates more jobs. Like every one of these revolutions that we've gone through of like industrial revolution, and there was like a second industrial revolution, the tech revolution, it's all created jobs. So if history shows us anything, this AI thing is going to create more jobs for people. So why would you leave your sector of job when it could potentially, you could be somebody that ranks up or makes more money because of AI coming in and what it can do for your job. But instead the advice is like, yeah, it's going to take away all these jobs and, we're not going to need jobs anymore and wealth is just going to be distributed. Everybody's going to have universal basic income and you're just going to get a check in the mail and you're not going to have to work and you can do whatever you want. Hey, look how well that worked for us during COVID of people just getting free money.
Sure.
Like people went freaking insane not having something to do and not going to work. And that's why there's been a push too of people going back to work and not working from home because we're all going insane. It's like, I think they just look through this very narrow hallway of AI and they don't see how it could affect all like the rest of the house. It's like we already had a small example of this. Everybody at home on social media uploading their consciousness to a laptop or TikTok or whatever. That's basically what we're doing anyways.
Your consciousness.
That's basically what we're doing. And it was terrible. Like mental health is the worst it potentially has ever been.
Yeah.
It's the most talked about thing besides AI. Everybody has a therapist now. It's like, if you want to change job sectors, go be a therapist, apparently. because everybody's going to need one because nobody's going to be doing anything. We're all going to go insane.
Well, and now they're probably saying that can be done with an AI.
Yeah, well, yeah,
Like
just
this
have
Instagram
AI.
account that I follow for, it's like a new age learning, I guess. Like it's a whole new school, but majority of their curriculum is developed by AI. It's like they don't have teachers in the school. It's basically like the students are teaching themselves, that's not a new age thing. That's becoming more normalized in the homeschool and whatever. But yeah, the curriculums and like their day-to-day schedules are written out by AI. And these kids' test scores are crazy through the roof good. They're graduating in like middle school.
Yeah.
But again, that's where I think we need to have like, when we swing hard one way, we need to swing hard in the other way so that we can find a common ground, or that there's something of a counterpart so that this doesn't just get to take off. Like we are turning so tech heavy, and we have been since we've been alive. Like I feel like the increase has been going, but with the idea of what AI is going to do for us and what COVID, I think, sparked of people getting farther and farther and farther away from working with other people and being connected to other people, and it's all very isolated, and then you're isolated through the technology. I think we need to hone in deeper on the connection to your surroundings, connection to outside, connection to how we're getting our food, connection to our physical body, and then the connection to the relationships that we have around us.
Yeah, I totally
I think
agree.
you need to strengthen what you're doing at home. Whether it's a 2-person household or a 6-person household. I think people should put, and again, I'm just giving advice for no reason. No one's asking about this. We're just talking about AI. But that's what I think the counter needs to be is, this is going to take off whether maybe we have control over it or not. So what do you as an everyday in the middle of America type of person has control over? It's taking control of your house.
Yeah.
More.
Well, and this will be probably my thought about AI and all this until I'm uploading my consciousness and we're all taken over. But it's a tool. Use it as what the best thing it does. That's how I do, fitness and health too. So it's like I do yoga for the stretching and the relaxation. I'm not doing yoga for strengthening my muscles. That's not the tool that it's best used as. Resistance training is that. So what's AI going to show us that it's really, really good at and really efficient at? And it could be the school thing. It could be, the test scores or whatever, but also like
that's one avenue.
That's one avenue, but also like our school system and the test scores and all that kind of seems arbitrary and stupid anyways. Like it's not, who cares how much you know about this one subject and you score really high on this test? Like that's not even the field that you're going to go into or whatever. It's super outdated. Granted, I like that there's more and more availability for people to be able to
control their education.
Yeah, exactly. But I think it's using it as a tool, and what is it going to be really good at, and what is it going to be able to do, and then what is it not going to be able to do? And a lot of it, what it's not going to be able to do is like what you're talking about, the human connection thing. And I think, like you said, if we can kind of use both extremes, but it creates this really great balance between them of, you have this really strong human connection side of like, you're going to parties, your at home thing is really strong. You're maybe not on social media or just watching TV or, using AI for whatever, playing video games. Like you're connected with your family and your friends and all that sort of stuff. And then on the other side, like AI is assisting you in school or whatever other education or whatever, everything else. Our cars are more safe and less accidents and all that good stuff. Like I'm not saying we should just get rid of AI. It's dangerous and all this kind of thing. But it's like this whole like AI is going to be our life and we just need to submit to it and put our consciousness into it and it's going to solve all of our problems. It's like we don't even know if it can do certain things yet, like change human biology and that be a positive and that be okay.
Yeah. Well, and I think we're already seeing the effect of we're losing the home base.
Yeah.
Like, without complaining about the airports for the millionth time, but this is not one of those things where it's like, okay, well, we're just adults, so we see things differently now. Like, no, people are crazier. Like, the rudeness in people, and granted, I didn't work in a customer servicey type of job really ever as a kid, like growing up. So I don't know, with like working at a grocery store, were you dealing with people popping off at you regularly? Like, maybe people have been always crazy to certain
No,
jobs.
not really. It could have been a location thing as well, but I mean, you definitely were dealing with people that were not having a good day, you
Sure.
know, but it wasn't like you were getting, I don't know, I remember this one time. This person was in line and somebody came behind them and was getting so frustrated and so upset with this person because they were not moving. Like, the belt was empty, like where you put your groceries on, and this person was just standing there with their cart, and I was like finishing up with the previous customer of paying or whatever. This person's just standing there, and this, I don't remember if it was like, I think it was a woman behind this person was getting so irritated because they wanted to go fast. This person had a full cart of stuff and didn't have anything on the belt. And she was just like throwing her arms up and, what is going on with this mic? Getting all upset. And then all of a sudden this other person comes running around the sign. She's like, "Oh, sorry." And she's like, "Okay, come on." And like the person like grabs their shoulder and starts walking them. And that person in line was blind the whole time. The whole time. The person in front of him was blind. And it was like the lady behind him had to feel so shitty of how shitty she was being about this person not moving or doing anything. It's like, yeah, she's blind. She can't put anything on the belt.
Did you know she was blind?
No, I didn't really know what was going on either. I was more like, okay, this is a older person. Quit freaking out that they're not going as
Sure.
fast as you want them to. But it was kind of that perfect timing transition of how, like, I was letting, getting this other person paid and gone and turning around. And I was obviously noticing that this was happening, but I was still dealing with this customer. And then, yeah, this person comes running around. It's like, "Oh, sorry." And then they start throwing the stuff on the belt and moving along. But it was just like, oh, yeah, maybe be a little bit slower about your judgments and craziness because it could be something you're not thinking of at all.
Well, I mean, there are so many pieces to that. Like, because now, maybe at your age, like, you just weren't thinking about this as a kid, but like, I feel like now, if you were in that situation, you also probably would have, like, you've been able to deal with this person checking out and still maybe point to the person that wasn't moving, saying, like, "Hey, you can start putting yourself," like, almost like handling both at the same time, the flow of it, but then not knowing what is going on, obviously, because she can't see anything.
Yeah.
And then the person behind, like, maybe you as the cashier at 16 should not have to deal with all this, but like, you would probably be able to handle all three of them at a time. Maybe, "Oh, you know what, lady, maybe you can go to a different register or whatever. She's going to need help," or blah, blah, blah. But that is a great point of the lady in the back. Hey, why are you in such... Life is crazy. People are busy. Whatever. Why are you in such a rush that you are now imposing on other people's regular day? It's like people that are late and then they start driving crazy and honking. It's like, this is on you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need to adjust because you ran late. Granted, I've been in that situation before, and I need to recognize this is on me.
Yeah.
No one else needs to adjust how they're driving. We all don't need to go 50 miles over the speed limit because I didn't leave early enough. But it's a lot of that. Like,
Well, it's entitlement.
yeah, without giving details, like, one of the, at a work weekend, a person was trying to get something because they had lost something. So they were trying to purchase a new thing. I told them, "I'm sorry, we don't do that because we don't have record of who previously bought these things, so I can't just give them out. So I apologize. And I'm,
Which just happens
you
all
know
the time.
how I'm talking. Like, it's very professional, kind, but direct. But I'm not like being any sort of like, no, and then just leaving it at that. Like, I'm explaining myself. She's getting more irritated as I'm saying this, and she's, this is just ridiculous. I can't believe this. This is ridiculous. I'm tired. That's what she kept saying. I'm tired.
Mm.
Okay.
Go take a nap.
I said, okay. And I was like, you know what? I get it. It's a lot. I'm not about to suggest like, hey, maybe put it in your purse. Maybe put it in a Ziploc bag and put it somewhere. Like, I'm not trying to like solve your problems. If this is a child, maybe that's what I would suggest.
Yeah.
But then we reworked it. I had her representative come with her to verify that she originally was one of the people that bought it. So then I charged her for another one. And then as soon as I said yes, you guys are amazing. You're just doing such a good job. I'm like, it's
That's
like
crazy.
a kid that gets what they want and stop crying.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, and she probably was
you
that
are.
kid.
I'm like, this. You realize what? Like, you don't realize what you just did.
No.
Which is crazy. But like, you're just feeding into whatever emotion you have at that time.
Or she does
you're
know.
tired.
Or she does know, and she's evil.
Yes.
Like, she does know what
Sure.
she's doing. She does know she's manipulating. She does know. Yeah.
And that's where I go, whether it's, I mean, boys with their aggression needs to be fostered and flourished, but also utilized in the correct way so that they
harnessed
don't
a
just,
little.
they're not just an asshole in the airplane that complains and talks shitty about people. And then females need to keep their manipulation in check. Like,
Mhm.
as soon as your 4-year-old starts weaseling, they're like, starts changing the rules of a game, or starts like, well, no, actually, we did this last week. No, we didn't. Like,
Yeah.
that, I feel like manipulation in girls is something, I don't know if it's it almost seems like a safety behavior for why we do it. Like, we don't have the strength, so we need to manipulate people to not hurt us.
Well, I think it's a great comparison. The boys have the aggression, the girls have the manipulation.
That it needs to be corrected because it is off the rails.
Yeah.
It is off the rails. We see it with the kid, like with the students, like they just start to lie and like think that they're getting away with it. And even with the younger ones, like they're just trying, they're just trying to manipulate you. And we're seeing it in adults where that did not get parented out, that did not get corrected. And it's like, oh, you're crazy.
Yeah.
Like, and you think this is working.
And
now you have lost trust from a lot of people around you because you're like, well, you're just the girl.
Yeah. Well, and so many more people are like that now that it's become more common, and you just deal with that person rather than, I don't know, getting that person away from you type of thing.
Yeah.
And I would, some of them probably had it parented out of them, but again, social media shows all that they are now acquiring that skill back again because why not? Like it's shown on social media so much that it's normalized. Some people are even getting stuff out of it. Look at all these influencers. That's like, you're terrible people.
Yeah.
But they have millions of followers and make a bunch of money, and they get all the new Gucci bags and all the stuff. So it's like, well, I'm going to start emulating that and being like that because that's what the cool people are doing, or that's what the people with money are doing. So I want that.
Yeah. It's like girls are not taught, get better communication skills to do that.
No.
It's weasel your way into getting what you want.
Well, that's hard to do.
Yeah. It's like
weaseling is easier.
And then we just chalk it up to, well, they're girls or it's a woman.
Yeah.
It's like, and that's why you are not like, I always go back to this, like, and that's the female that's like, why can't I keep a relationship? Or why doesn't no one want to be with me? Or why doesn't people want to be around me? It's like, because
or
of this.
why do I always attract these types of boys?
Yeah.
I was like, well, because you're that type of girl. And it's the same on the opposite side. Like these guys that see, these athletes or whoever, these movie stars that are all ripped and jacked, and they're talking about how, I'm the greatest that's ever lived and all this type of shit. And now they're 8 years old, walking around talking like that and acting like that and doing that in sports and talking to their friends like that. And it's like, and then you don't have any friends, or girls don't want to be with you, or it's only manipulative, crazy girls that want to be around you. And it's like, yeah, you're not getting parented.
Like, I mean, that lady when
or
we were
coached
boarding
or taught.
the flight, and it was Southwest, so it's like you can choose whatever seat you want. And she goes to the front. I mean, she's
in row 6.
Yeah, like not okay.
Which Southwest doesn't have like first class or anything. It's literally you walk on and it's just regular seating throughout the whole plane.
Yeah. And a couple comes on, an older couple. Not that this makes a difference, but kind of.
Kind of does.
An older couple comes on, and I'm thinking, well, yeah, the older people are going to be in the front. They don't want to chance the walk back there.
No.
Like, they could trip at any time. They're not trying to roam to the back for extra space.
Well, it's also, you just walked on the plane, you see 2 open seats in the front. Why would you not?
As they keep saying, it's going to be a full flight.
Yeah.
It's going to be a full flight. AKA, no one's going to get an open seat next to them.
You're going to have
just
seats
pick whatever
together.
you want. So a couple comes on, 2 open seats, snagging it. They're like, can we sit there? And she's like, there's more spots in the back.
Yeah, which she had already done to somebody else before too.
And they're like, yeah, but we want, kind of in the way like, can we still sit there?
But there might be a full row back there. You could have a full row if you go back there.
He's like, okay, first of all, manipulation. You're being so crazy. You're sitting in the front and you expect no one's going to sit next to you. Third, they say it's a full flight, so just pay attention to something beyond your own thoughts.
Yeah.
4, you go back there.
Yeah, exactly. You want a full row.
You go back there.
Yep.
Not, I'm going to sit in row 6 because I think I deserve to be up here. And then I'm going to try to shoo everyone else back there. It's like the kid that stands in the front line and then goes, everyone else, move to the back. No, you move to the back. Oh, you don't have enough space? You move.
Yeah.
You move. That's crazy behavior. Like, when I see people do that, or the kids do that in class, I'm like, do you not feel so embarrassingly ridiculous? Like, I could see, like, you say it, and then you're like, okay, that's crazy. But it's like, back it up and continue to be like that. Then she lets these people sit next to her, lets them, and she's huffing up. This is just ridiculous as she stands up right next to them. Okay, so rude. Then the guy in front of her leans over the seat. It was like, some people just don't get it.
Yeah. That's where we're at.
Guys are crazy. And when we got off and we were waiting for our bags, like, not around so anyone could hear, but it's like, I see those people. I'm like, could you imagine being married to that lady?
Yeah, no.
When you hear men be like, women are like that.
Yeah.
Like, they're crazy. Or my wife, or she's hard to deal with. It's like, if that's your wife, I get it.
Well, yeah.
But also, you're probably married to someone like that guy, and you also suck too, guy.
Yeah.
You both suck.
Yeah.
That's why you found each other.
Yeah. Yeah, it is, I feel like it's different. Even just like from when we grew up to now. You see people around us or people we used to know. I mean, like social media, you get to see whoever you want, basically. So it's like you see people from your past, you see people from current, and it's like, wow, the way that you act here is not how you used to act before, or what you're saying now, and it's like, what is...
It's like, aren't you embarrassed?
And I'm sure people think the same thing about us, which that's just charge it to the game. That's just the nature of our world now. But it's just...
I'm sure people, like, the last 10 minutes of me ranting, I'm sure like, she sucks. She's a bitch.
Yeah. But it's like, I don't know. I feel good about my integrity of that sort of stuff, where it's like...
You would never get me doing that.
No, I would never sit in an aisle seat on a full flight in the 6th row and then try to manipulate people to go back, which she had successfully done already. we watched her do it with a different couple, and they ended up walking back, which I probably would have been the same way. It's like, I don't want to sit next to this crazy bitch anyways. But
Yeah.
also, like, I don't know. It's kind of nice that it was an older couple because they don't care. They're like,
Like-
no, I want to sit here. Get up.
He's like, there's 2 spots and we're together. You're alone, lady.
Which, it wasn't like this older couple was rude in any way. I think they were just confused as to like, well, why would we go back there? There's 2, like, we just want seats together and they're right here.
And they're
Why would
literally
we
saying
pass
it's a
this
full
up?
flight, so we have to sit down as fast as possible.
Like, they have no comprehension of this whole scheme that this lady's trying to do.
No, this manipulation she's trying to pull off.
Yeah.
And-
Just be nicer, people. I mean, it's crazy. Like, just be nicer. How many times
And
do you
they
have to
think-
say this or hear this advice? Like, why are you being so rude all the time? It's like, whether you're working at your job or out in public or at a grocery store, whatever you're doing, there's going to be moments and times where you're frustrated and people are pissing you off. And especially with like me and I don't know, I've never been this way, but it's definitely within my bones of like just getting irritated and snapping and saying something that I shouldn't be saying. It's like, just be nicer. If we all just start being nicer, this stuff happens less. But it's because people are doing something and then somebody else reacts and then a third person comes in to try to be the arbiter of the conflict. It's like everybody's just being rude all the time. Just stop being shitty. It's ridiculous.
And it's the kind of shitty and rude that's just too easy. Like, it's
the definition of selfish. It's the definition of selfish and entitlement. That's where all of this stems from, I think.
because I think when you have called me out for being rude, it's not those like obvious things. And I'm not trying to like take blame off myself, but it's more of the like, oh, I didn't know that would have, like, I didn't know that was inappropriate, or I didn't know that was, I mean, and that's not saying like take me off the hook. That's probably more of like, why didn't you know that? Like, you're 27 years old. How did you not see that would be
Yours is
something
usually
rude
like
to say? Or
your choice of words. But I
Yeah.
also grew up in a pretty delicate, you have to say the right things type of family, otherwise somebody's going to trip.
sure,
So it's like, I'm just overly sensitive to that. Like, I think we typically don't have the trust that like this person's not trying to hurt me.
sure.
So where what you grew up in was maybe like, well, they'd never try to hurt me, so them saying like I look stupid in the shirt is fine.
I would. It's
No,
not something.
You wouldn't say that, but
Not say that.
that's an extreme example. But it's like, we just grew up in different environments that people were always insulting each other and picking and joking on each other in my family, that now when there's a hinge of seriousness to something, it's like, well, what the fuck's going on?
Sure.
Why are you saying this about me or to me?
Yeah, to where I feel like things that you like you correct me on, and I don't mean that to sound like I like that you do. I like that you correct me on it. Things that you correct me on are like, well, that's an insecurity of theirs, in a way, and like you're kind of bringing it up.
Yeah.
So it's like that's where I say like it's not easy, cheap rudeness.
No, you're not like snapping at people.
It's more like, why didn't you think that, like they might be uncomfortable if you say that, or like you ruined the environment of the room, like you just made it weird. Why did you make, like, my rudeness is like I'm just making people uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I'm not being rude to them. I'm just bringing up all of their trauma.
Yeah.
That's what I'm doing. But it's the cheap stuff of like the lady that I was talking about, of like, this is just ridiculous. If I hear ridiculous come out of your mouth, get out of my face. You should never be saying ridiculous to another person unless you're talking to someone about a different thing that no one is around to hear or talk about with you. Like, it's just too easy for them.
Your attitude is ridiculous.
If I see an eye roll, we're going to be delayed 10 minutes. Oh my gosh. Don't they know that I have things to do today? Hey, there are thousands of flights going in and out of this airport.
Yeah.
You don't think 10 minutes? It's a miracle that any of these get on time at any point of the day. Like, this one was delayed, and then this one, 100 out of the flights were delayed today. And somehow it eventually happened. That's crazy. And they're doing that on the fly with people yelling at them. Like, whatever you have to do, it's not that important for you to be that stressed out. And if it is, hey, plan better. Why are you flying out that day?
Well, that's a dumb reason, I think.
It's not, though. I had someone freaking out at a person at the airport because they needed to get to a funeral. Don't fly out that day.
Well, sure, in some instances, but
In a hurricane also. Hey,
there's other...
not good planning on your part.
I agreed with you all the way up until that last part.
You're right, because sometimes we
You can't
choose.
control it.
That's true. It's coming from people that we don't even buy our flights.
Yeah, exactly.
We go, when do you need us to have a sleep? Okay.
Yeah. It's just selfishness and entitlement. That's, to me, that's what it all comes back to. That person thinks that their life is so much more important, and they can't deal with and handle the fact that there's an inconvenience to them, so they're now freaking out. It's like, hey, everybody on this flight's in the same situation. We're all delayed 10 minutes. It's not just you. And it's like, yeah, we're all a little annoyed with it, but you making a big scene or having to like talk to a flight attendant or have to go up to the counter and be like, this is ridiculous. Like, you need to give me a voucher or something.
When you
like,
just
and
want
everybody
people
needs
to
something.
know that you're mad, stop.
Yeah, well, that's just childish. It's like, are you 5 years old? You need people to know you're mad about something?
Yeah.
What are we talking about? You have such a lack of control over your emotions that you're a child. You didn't grow up.
And it's the simple thing of people are doing it to people they think they can, which is more gross.
Well, yeah.
It's like they are doing it to the flight attendant. They are doing it to the people at the desk. They're doing it to the people that like at the, the cashier. Like they're doing it to the people that they already are deeming below them.
Yeah. That
it's
don't
like,
have control.
That is a shitty quality too.
Yeah. Well, and a part of it is this customer's always right bullshit.
No.
No. Silly.
Yeah.
All right. Ranting podcast episode is over.
I think you should title it something like AI the new religion or AI the new God.
Yeah. Oh, I had
AI versus God.
AI is God. I had a thought when you said something. We should change this podcast to the name of it to You Didn't Ask for Our Opinion. How good of it.
That is so good, but we can't do it again. We already did a rebrand.
We should do it again. Who cares? We can do whatever we want.
Yeah, that's true, because we did it as Eavesdrop for like, you're listening in our conversations, but we are clearly yelling at you.
I don't know. I think
want you to hear it.
I think the people on this that listen to this are probably like, yes, these other people are stupid.
Let's hope.
We're creating our own little cult.
Let's hope.
We're creating our cult of nice people.
Yeah, let's hope that if people that are listening to this, they're like how my dad listens, where they're like, yeah, that's what this person did. And like they want to share their own stories.
Yeah.
You can in the comments. You can share your own rant of something that happened. But just be kind about it.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing.
Be
just
kind about it.
Be
As
kind.
we were just shitty. This bitch did this, and that bitch did that.
But we're bringing up how. Okay, so this is what I forgot to say. This is a different situation with going back to the flights, and then we'll end it. Abby Purcell. This is the kind of people I want to be around. This is the difference between that chick and Abby. This is a good plain example. She paid for her seat because she was sick. So she needed to be in an aisle. Actually, I don't know if she was sick, but she had to be in an aisle row for some reason so that she could get up quickly. I think she was sick, so she paid for her seat. And I think it was a couple or someone came back and asked if she wouldn't mind switching so that she could, like, because they needed to be in an aisle as well, so that she would have had to be in the middle. And she was like, I just can't. Like I physically cannot be in the window seat for this flight. And she's like, I'm so sorry. I have to be in this seat. Like, I'm sick. I need to be able to get up quickly. That's why I paid for this seat too, and whatever. And even after the fact, we're in the hotel room, and she's like, I feel bad that I didn't switch. She's like, should I have switched? She's like, she brought up, like, she's like, would my parents think that I should have switched? Should the people that like she's like
My
bringing up people that
parents.
she like admires and likes and she
Yeah.
thinks are like kind people? She's like, would they have switched? Like,
Yeah.
am I shitty for doing that? It's like she paid for it. She's sick. She needs to be in the aisle, and she is still like, was that rude of me that I didn't give
Yeah.
up the seat? Like, that's what you should be thinking about.
Yeah.
Not this lady that's trying to manipulate people. Not
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
That's good people.
All right.
Okay.
Don't forget to subscribe. Doesn't cost you anything. Just hit a little button. Bye.